Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Freeman Files here on the J-Free 906 podcast. Tom Burns and Seth Bridges back in the house to talk some Oak Island. How you guys doing?
I'm fantastic. We are so back. Roll the film.
We are back.
We are back. Yeah, it's good to have you back too, Seth. Geez, I know we haven't talked to you in a while. So
no, long time. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you here too. And Tom, gosh, I was good. I haven't seen Tom in so well, actually, just a couple weeks ago.
Weeks.
Got a chance to see Tom while we were up in New Brunswick and on our way back. So it was really good to see Tom. Leslie didn't get to see the dogs, but that's all right. Next time,
they're here. I could arrange for that.
They're all around you right now. Yep. Thank you, folks, for joining us here tonight. We have some interesting information to part with you or to share with you tonight about the favorite TV show, The Curse of Oak Island. As all of you know, or most of you know, we were just up there over the past couple of weeks. We did the Oak Island Convention. Woohoo! That was a hit. Went over really well. If anybody in the chat there was at the convention, well, Maya was there. I know that.
She was already counting how many weeks to the next one.
Yeah. We're hoping to maybe have it a little earlier in the season. I know this was an interesting time to do it, and it was great. And you just never can count on the weather because I know that the morning of the actual Salty Dog Sea Tours was a bit windy, and hi Alita, yeah, Alita was there. But it all went off very, very well, and so we're very happy for those of you who were there, and for those of you, thank you, Eva. That we're not next year. Hopefully you'll make it for the next one for next year. We plan to be even bigger and better. Yeah, Seth.
Yeah, count me in.
A lot of people asked about you, Seth. They really did. I got to admit. And Tom, of course, too, while we were there. But it was a lot of fun. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Tonight, we're going to be discussing some of the things that we saw while we were up there and some of the things that we've seen since going across the causeway. Thank you again to Karen Publicover. And we also have some pictures from Lisa Bates tonight. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Lisa was on Tony's tour this morning.
Yes.
And she went out and acquired some additional equipment to get some better shots for us. And we've been combing through them. So Lisa, a big shout out to you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much for that. It's always nice to get those pictures and stuff from all of you folks. We do have our Facebook group page, The Curse of Oak Island and Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. And we love getting those pictures from you all. And New Brunswick now. Okay.
Yep.
So we have to ask always if I can share those on the podcast, because it's nice to see some of those that's going on, some of the pictures that you guys get. Unfortunately, when we did the Oak Island tours, I've got this I saved my little wristband, Oak Island Legend. This is the tours from that. And that was a great thing. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit later also, but we didn't really get to take pictures of all the really cool places. So I had to really turn up the, my mental acuity and really tried to, analyze everything that I was seeing and remember it all, take mental pictures, because we weren't allowed to take camera pictures on some of the hot spots, Money Pit and stuff like that. Anyway. All right. But we do have a lot to talk about tonight. So let's get to it. This is all concerning, Michelle. Yep. This is all concerning the upcoming season 13 and a little bit left off from last season. So I'm going to say, let's do this right here. Let's queue up. Whoops. Let's go with this one. Let's queue up the speculation department. All right. For season 13. I love this. Tom put this together. The Freeman Files, Your Solutions channel. What's Rick sitting on over there? What is that?
Looks like it could be an ark of some sort.
Looks like the Ark of the Covenant. And Charles, there he is. Mm-hmm.
Yep. All knowing, all seeing.
Right, I don't think he should be sitting on that.
He's fact checking everything we say.
I finally got the opportunity to meet Mr. Barkhouse when we were up there. He came by for the meet and greet, which was really, really cool. Got some more. Well, like I said, we'll get to that as we go along here a little bit tonight. But I wanted to say before we get started too far, happy Thanksgiving, Canada, on Monday coming up. So all of our Canadian friends up there.
Turkey Day coming up.
Turkey Day coming up. All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Ours is not for a while yet. So
I know. It makes me jealous.
I know, right? I'm ready for some turkey. So Wayne, let's get the party started. All right. That's a Fun Friday post. Oh, okay.
Oh, that was my old, the speculation when I did it on a Fun Friday one time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So what I really wanted to talk about tonight, first off, is about the caissons that were put in this season, this summer, this filming season over the summer months. We know they got started kind of late. Well, no, actually they started about the same time they always do. It was about August, September, really getting going with the caissons. And they put quite a few in from what we are hearing. As you all know, they left TOT1, which is the one circled in red down here in the bottom. They left that one in at the end of season 12. And
so the question is it still there?
Right. And we don't know.
We know they brought in more caisson this year than previous years.
Yes.
They had to have, because TOT1's 185 feet in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So we know they had to bring in, several hundred more feet of caisson. The question is, I'd love to have a little trail cam by Karen's place there to count the number of caissons coming off the island, but
I know
you can't. So that would tell you if they actually left anything behind.
Right. I've talked to her about doing a 24-hour cam there. Mm-hmm. That's Karen Public Cover. She has the Facebook group page called the Oak Island from the Other Side of the Causeway. Oak Island from the Other Side of the Causeway, if you don't know it already. And she shares with us pictures are on her page and lets us use them too of all the equipment going across the causeway, back and forth and back and forth. It's always good stuff. So, yeah. So they left TOT1 in the ground. We don't know if it's still in the ground because we know that they do go down and cap them off underneath the surface a little ways so that they can bring in the cranes and the hammer grab and the oscillator and all that kind of stuff in on top of it and do their work. So did they leave it in the ground or not? They did bring in a lot of caisson with them this year. Now, also remember too, that when they do take those caissons out, when they remove them, they have to backfill the hole.
Yep.
So they were supposedly in the solution channel, or at least on the ledge of the solution channel, right? Last year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to fill that one in, then what's going to happen to the solution channel itself? If you start backfilling that with all kinds of backfill, that's going to go right down into the solution channel as well. And what's that going to cause?
Yeah. And the problem with that is, depending on how fluid the solutions channel is, where does it go?
Yeah.
Right? It would be one thing if you just dug a hole and it had a solid bottom and you could just dump, 10 truckloads of gravel in there and fill the hole and move on.
Yep.
But if you don't know what's at the bottom and which way it's moving or how it's moving or if it's moving, then it could be your, forever bottomless pit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't know what you're covering up 10 feet away, 20 feet away, 30 feet away. You could be covering something up that you'll never see again. So if as soon as you take the caisson out, you have to backfill it, because if you don't backfill it, you lose the integrity of the ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Around it. So you can't put any caissons around it because they'll just all collapse.
Yep. Now keep in mind on this here, because whether or not they took TOT1 out of the ground, I know that it was not the one being worked on when I was on the tour. I was standing on, it was kind of funny. I know I mentioned this when I was on the Tony's. Actually, I was in Colin's boat following Tony's tours. And when I mentioned on there that when I was standing there, when the tram came around and dropped everybody off up by the top of the money pit between the garden shaft and 10X, everybody went over to look down 10X and everything, because we were told we couldn't take pictures of the money pit. We could only take pictures of, 10X and down towards Smith's Cove. So I went over and I did my usual, yep, look in there. Oh yeah, it looks, really cool. 10X is awesome. I don't think they should be done with that place yet, but I spent most of my time walking over and I stood on the edge of the hill right above the garden shaft, and I'm looking and I'm analyzing and I'm measuring and sighting and this and that and trying to see exactly what they were doing there or where they were at, and they were not the caisson that they were working on at that time. Of course, this would have been what, the 20th, 21st, I think, of September, was not TOT1. I know that for an absolute fact, but it was, and this is where I'm getting to with this long story here. It was in line between TOT1 and the garden shaft. Now, if you look at that picture I have right here, this is where they estimated where the solution channel in this green area is showing the solution channel. And where is it heading? Well, it's heading towards the garden shaft. Now, remember this. If you guys remember this, this was back in season, 10, I think, when they were talking about Aladdin's cave. And they had put down some caissons over by Aladdin's cave, and they were in a tunnel. Remember the tunnel that they found?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That bent and went off into another direction. They were estimating at that time that it had gone towards the front of the garden shaft. And you see what else is there. If you can see that in the green there, all this right here is the supposed location of the solution channel.
Yeah. I think that's that whole, if you make a U-shaped thing from TOT1 over to the garden shaft, I think that's where they put all those caissons this summer.
Yep. I think so too.
Because when you look at it from the water, from the shore, I was trying to follow as many different people and posts as I could. And thank goodness for Karen, because some of hers are fantastic. I was trying to line these caissons or these cranes up against certain landmarks on the shore.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that they were gradually moving down. Right. So how many they put in, I wouldn't even begin to guess.
Yeah, that we don't know, because we were kind of off on that a little bit when we were trying to figure out how many they put in last season.
Yeah.
We kind of missed it by a little bit. Yeah. Michelle says there was nothing in front of the garden shaft on 9/6. Correct.
No.
Correct. But
everything's in that area, because we know they didn't leave that area based on all the different photographs we see off Tony's tour and people in our group and Karen's photos. There was no caissons done outside of that general area. And there was no drilling done by SB Canada outside that area that I could tell.
Right. We know that they were drilling in front of the garden shaft with the choice drilling sonic drill rig.
Mm-hmm.
We know that was working over there. And when I was standing there on top of the money pit, I wasn't allowed to take any pictures, but I was allowed to look and make mental notes. And I noticed a circle on the ground. It was exactly the size of a caisson. And it was this painted circle in orange paint on the ground with an X in it. And it was right in front of the garden shaft. And I said, that seems like a neat place to put a caisson. Well, thanks to people sharing pictures and stuff with us and whatnot, we know that they did in fact put one in there. And that is roughly where it is, or was.
Man, that's close.
That's close.
I'd call that danger close.
Yes, and that's why I said in that one little video I put out, is that safe? And I noticed that Robert also said that, Robert Guthrie, it's so unsafe. And if you're referring to this garden shaft, I would have to start putting a caisson right there. I would have to agree. Man, that's taken an awful risk.
We know about the water flow in that area.
Yes, we do, don't we?
Right? But again, SB Canada are the guys that were putting the crane down. They do all the augering and everything else, and they do the jet grouting, and they're used to putting stuff underwater. So, but I mean, that's pretty close. I mean, you risk washing out the base of that, depending on how deep they went.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if you went all the way to the bottom, was it 98 feet or 100 and some feet, whatever it is?
Yeah, it was right around 100 feet was the garden
100
shaft.
feet. You go down there and start drilling that out, and then you create another water channel for that, 10,000 gallons a minute to start whirring around at the bottom. I'd be nervous.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Seth.
I'm just it's interesting how close to the garden shaft that is. It makes me wonder, like, why not just use the garden shaft? Is it do you think you can get deeper there than the garden shaft? Is there something special about that target? I wonder so many things. Does it have to do with the water flow?
I think it's the water flow, because the
Yeah.
garden shaft, if according to everything I know, is still full of water.
Yeah.
And the problem with the garden shaft,
So
according
it's
to sources on the island, is not the fact that we can't pump the water. They can pump the water, but where are we going to pump the water to?
Right.
So it's easier to just drill a whole new caisson right next to it rather than use the existing garden shaft. And I guess they're expecting they won't encounter those water problems if they just use their own modern
I
day
would
caisson.
love to know the answer to that question.
Yes, I would too. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait
We may
until
have to wait till February or
Yeah,
March.
a lot of
March.
a lot of in the chat, or a lot of people in the chat seem to be saying, blocking water flow. So,
They can do that.
Not a lot. It could be a couple.
SB Canada does do jet grouting, wherein they put a large jet, basically large thing down through the gravel that shoots jet around and will create, a concrete pillar. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because the goal, if I remember, at the end of the season, it's like we got to get into the solution channel. So once we get into it, then what? Because
Yeah.
it's just a lot of water and muck and backfill now.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. And
wood,
possibly a treasure down there.
yeah, and treasure. Yeah, I just imagine there's got to be so much material on top of the treasure.
Yeah. It might simply be covered up.
And I think that's why they stopped using the hammer grab to such a great extent.
Exactly.
They
I
keep
think so too.
driving that plug down into this void.
Yeah, I think so too, Tom. I really do. And if you noticed, and that was something that we talked about when we did our little news at noon here back in August, and Tom and I were speculating then about the use of this auger type drill that we know that they used quite a bit. Matter of fact, it was almost exclusively used for pulling the dirt out of the caisson, every caisson that they put in. We know the hammer grab was there, and we know that they did use it. But we know that the auger style was used extensively over the entire summer while they were doing the caissons. And so you wonder, was that to help to not, like Tom just said, not smashing or damaging, because that hammer grab is hitting hard every time they go down and grab. So,
and they lost, was it last year, the year before, they drove that plug right down somewhere, wherever it
yes, remember when they talked about that plug going out? Yep.
Can that type of drill pull out the beams and other large material?
I would say it'll cut through anything in front of it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think so too. It's being enough pressure is being.
They can go through rock with that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and Tom, you had mentioned too, when we did our news at noon, you had mentioned too about the blocking of the water, maybe doing some sort of a, we talked about the honeycomb, they brought that up before, talking about this honeycomb pattern of caissons going in the ground rather than doing a big dig using all these caissons. But then, Tom, you had talked about possibly blocking water with the
you can use that jet grouting method that basically just injects a slurry type solution under high pressure into the gravel or ground or inside of a caisson, and you pull the straw back out of the hole basically, and it hardens just like concrete. And if you do enough of them, you can in fact create your own cofferdam.
Yes. So I don't think that could they have done something like that with a couple of caisson placements? Maybe. I don't know. We just simply don't know at this point.
No idea.
Exactly. But sorry, I'm late. Yes, you're late there, Jake.
You have to stay after school. Have to stay after school, Jake.
Yep. So anyway, so a very strange placement. And as I was saying, I was a little worried because, I thought, well, maybe putting a caisson this close to the garden shaft might be dangerous. We know that ground was very disturbed at at all times. All the drilling that's gone on around that area, Swiss cheese basically of the money pit, and there we are. And could that damage the integrity of the water pressure that's inside there pushing towards the Caisson? I don't. Were you going to say something, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I just can't see drilling anywhere in that, as Vanessa calls it, Swiss cheese, without a caisson. Like, you've got the drill, right? You've got the SB Canada's got the vertical drill, or they can drill sideways or whatever they want to do with it. But I cannot see drilling or removing any soil from that ground that you didn't do inside a caisson, because the structural integrity of that whole area just isn't there anymore.
Right.
If it was virgin ground, I'd say, yeah, you could drill a hole, pull it out all you want, and the hole is probably going to stay. I wouldn't go down in it, but the hole is probably going to stay pretty, pretty solid.
Yeah.
But there's been so many holes drilled in that place and gravel put back in. I just don't see there being any integrity there. So you'd have to use some kind of a metal caisson. And the drilling that SB Canada does, they do use caissons. So.
Yep. Now, remember too, and by the way, N. Crowley, just email me. I've got an email address. It's jfree906@gmail.com. So just send me an email, and I get to them as quickly as I can. But remember too, that this area right in this area where they have put this caisson, they also found that that one, I think it was AB13, pretty sure it was AB13 that they had drilled down there. And this is the 6-inch borehole or casing or well. You can look at it as a well that they had put down. And that was the one where all the pressure, when they hit that, pressure blew out of there. All the water and the air and everything was just shooting out of that hole, like they hit some sort of a pressurized chamber. And they pulled the plug on it. Remember that. That's in the same area where they put this caisson. So we know that there had to be some sort of a pocket down there. Was that the reason for this? Was that only the reason for this? Or did it have some other possibility for putting one in this spot? But as I was saying, follow the solution channel. They were pretty well convinced that the treasure had been pushed down into the solution channel through multiple collapses. And remember the collapse that Ian Spooner heard when he was doing his work there. He heard rumbling and collapsing of stuff down below ground as well. So did they push it down into the solution channel as they think? If so, chase the solution channel.
Yep.
We shall see, but as we were mentioning, we may not have any answers at all until March, unfortunately. All right, so Lisa Bates has shared a bunch of pictures with us, and we're going to go through a few of these. These were taken from Tony Sampson's Salty Dog Sea Tours from this morning. And here's a GoPro camera set up and recording over here in the water. That's an interesting place to put a GoPro camera on a tripod. Yeah, between lots 5 and the causeway. Interesting. Find out what that's all about. Here's a shot of someone working in lot 5. And I've forgotten this gentleman's name. I don't know who this person is.
Oh, Linda could tell you for sure. Yes.
Yeah, Linda probably knows. But I'm not sure who this lady is right here. But this gentleman over here, and I've forgotten his name now. But I
Ethan.
Ethan, thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, thank you, David. Ethan, that's Ethan waving at the camera over there. Yep. And here she is again. Yeah.
Very cool to see archaeologists working on the island.
Absolutely. I think that is one of the greatest parts of this. I mean, having the scientists out there. We got a chance to talk to, Matt Lukeman and Ian Spooner when they were at the convention, and they gave their presentations. Fantastic stuff. I don't know her, but yeah, this is Ethan's second year. Yep. No, it's not Michaela. Michaela, yeah, Michaela's in one of the pictures that we have, but that's not her there. Yep. Here's another shot of them working. So lot 5 is still important.
Still an active spot.
Very active spot.
Good.
Yep. Yeah, it is good because I don't care. I want to know. I mean, if there's no treasure there or not in lot 5, that's okay. I still want to know what in the heck was going on Lot 5.
Yeah, I mean, I believe there's treasure in the money pit, thanks to Ian Spooner and other. I always forget his associate, but like if there wasn't treasure, let's say, or we can never get to it, the story is going to give us the answers of at least who put it there, why, if there were things that were there and then moved, who put them there, what were those artifacts, like some of the fun theories about the menorah and other artifacts of the Bible, or maybe we're on the island at one point. Archaeology is not only going to give us all those cool questions, but it's going to bring the mainstream in to like validate the treasure hunt.
And with Lot 5, like the whole multi-generational thing all comes together.
Yes,
right? The multiple users. And I'm going to give a shout out to Jake Roberts here, because Ghosts of Bacon, or the Keys of the Rosy Cross and Ghosts of Bacon. I watched his podcast the other night. I watch it quite regularly, and he's tying a lot of these places together. I'm not going to get into it too far because I don't know what he wants out there and doesn't want out there, but he's tying a lot of these people together, and he's pretty close to putting the next on a different spot. Okay, but it has to do with Oak Island. It has to do with people that visited the place, and some decryption that he has done. And I think maybe Adam Thomas is working with him on it. He's got a book coming out in the, I guess, winter, spring, depending on when he gets enough time to finish it. But stay tuned for what Jake's got on the go. I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, Jake Roberts has a fantastic podcast. He does very good and so much information, and honestly, quite a bit of it goes over my head because I'm not that great with all the ciphers and stuff. But but it is fantastic. So if you haven't checked that out, Ghost of Bacon, look for it on the YouTube channel. Very good podcast, and he has very good people working with him on that as well. So yeah. Looking forward to having him back on the show at some point there. Hint, hint, Jake. Love to have you back. So this particular, opportunity, and this is one of those things you get when you're on Tony Sampson's Salty Dog Sea Tours. You just don't know who you're going to see, who you're going to run into. There has been cases where Marty, there was some flooding going on, and Marty needed to get over to the island, and he couldn't drive over there in the car. So he hopped in with one of Salty Dog Sea Tours, with one of Tony Sampson's tours, and rode over with all the people on the boat. That'd be cool, right?
Right.
Jack has jumped in the boat with him sometimes when he goes over and he honks on the island. Everybody waves at him. Well, speaking of waving at him, this is another picture from Lisa, and look who we got here. She had a good camera, really nice camera, Lisa. That was awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So there's Scott and Rick, of course. And
who's the guy in the blue shirt?
Who is this man in the blue shirt?
The mystery man in the blue shirt.
The mystery man in the blue shirt. Oh,
he looks familiar.
I know. I don't know. I don't know who it is. Not Craig. I don't know who that is.
Oh no, it's not Craig.
What does the chat think?
Yeah. Well, who do you think that might be, chat? Any guesses as to who this gentleman is? Yeah, but she got some great
That's
figures.
Cool.
Yep. Here's looking over at the wash plant, and you can see a guy stretching out there doing his, thing. He's been standing there on that platform for a while. Whatever. A producer, maybe. I don't know.
That's a good guess.
What did Jake say? Looks very familiar.
Dr. Ian Spooner. Yeah, it could be.
Could be. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's him.
I think Spooner's got that much hair, does he?
So the wash plant up and going and still doing its stuff. These were as of this morning. So there's still work going on.
Wow.
On the island. Yeah. So there you are. There's another shot.
Wow.
You could see the long reach excavator was still doing its stuff, grabbing it and dumping stuff into this hopper right here so it could go through the wash plant and get everything looked at. Here's a little video I took when I was in.
Wow.
I don't know if you can hear that banging. That's from the auger drill as it's knocking the dirt off of the auger at the bottom when it comes up.
Wow.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Steve Guptill drove by, and that was Steve and the little side by side. They went cruising by.
Wow.
Anyway, just a little short video
that
here.
right
Of,
there is that new auger drill rig that they're using, and it's being used today. And the large crane is only running the caissons. It's not doesn't have the hammer grab, which is laying on the ground. You can see right there.
anyway, kind of interesting. Yeah, thank you to Colin Jameson for this, because we went out in the boat with Colin while everybody was on the sea tours for the convention, and we were getting pictures of them, and we were getting pictures of the island. And Colin Jameson, he's coming on the podcast with us again, so he'll be around to give us more information. But yeah, thanks to him for sharing the boat and taking us all around the island again.
What a treat.
Yeah, it was nice just to sit there like this for a little while. That's kind of one of the things I wanted to do, was just sit there and observe for a little bit the operation going on, because we see a lot of still pictures, but just to be able to just hang out there for a little bit, float in the water and watch was really interesting. I was very excited about that. Lisa captured these pictures as well, and we were kind of wondering what in the world is going on over here in front of the money pit.
This is where the speculation runs wild.
Yes, it does. Now it looks like the one guy over there, I think he's a cameraman. At first I saw
like
this
production.
guy over here.
He looks like production, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he's production. It has to be. I thought maybe he was working on they putting up these pipe and slate markers all over the island in the key spots. The Smith Cove and the Money Pit, and over in the swamp and stuff. They're putting these things up, and these are all for the public. When you're on tours now, they're going to be laying out exactly what this is. Oh, this is the swamp or whatever, and and stuff like that with these signs. And the pipes, I think the pipes are actually from 10X, some of the piping that they've taken out of 10X. But and so and Dan's Memorial and Women's Memorial, exactly, and stuff like that around the island. Now, I thought he was working on that, but he's not. He's actually hanging out over here as they're clearing some of the brush. Now, why would they be clearing this brush out in this area? So thanks again to Lisa. Now you see a couple people in there working in the brush. You think, oh, they must be in there cutting the brush back so that the mini excavator can be pulling it out. Is that near the Stone Triangle area? Yes, it is. Eva. Yeah, Stone Triangle is actually just down to the right from this picture here.
It's an entrance into the tunnels, and it's going to lead them straight to the treasure.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? So
I think the guy on the right might be Gary Drayton.
Yes, looky there.
Yeah. And you notice what's in Gary's right hand.
Yes. See what Gary's carrying right there? Now, this is the first time that I know of that these guys have been over here searching this particular area with the metal detector. Why do you
time they've dug in there? Look, those trees are the show's 12 seasons old. Those trees are older than 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the first time they've dug in there.
Yeah. Why would they be digging in there? Any speculation from either of you guys on why they would be digging in this area?
They found some new map that leads them to that specific target.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then hopefully they'll find a tunnel entrance.
One document we read last year, we tried to decipher last year, that said it was determined that a deep tunnel to the shore from the shore be dug.
There's always been that talk. It's got to be somewhere. I mean, unless it's just they're just trying to throw you off.
Around the island, it was determined.
John V. Yes,
determined that a tunnel from the shore be dug.
And who shared that with us? Doug. Doug Crowell shared that. There used to be an old spoils pile there. I have a photo from 2019 of that old pile. Yes, there was. Was it all the way down in front? Was it that was Dan? Was that Dan's? Or maybe even part of what oh Dunfield?
Yeah,
Is
it
that
could be.
Dunfield's?
And again, that area's been dug up and murdered so many times now, goodness knows. But
Yeah. But you would think that they would have some sort of a
you don't know.
I would have been
they're
looking
digging,
for a tunnel entrance over there.
they're digging in there for a reason,
Mhm.
and it's not just to pass the time.
Right.
This time of year, they're not just passing. They're running out of time for their equipment and their contracts and everything. They're running out of time.
Yeah.
So this is no time to be fooling around.
No. They got I know they always say, well, winter's coming, settling in, but what's the temperature been up there, Tom?
I mean, they're far enough down there. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, we had an unusually warm week this week. It was in the 80s here in the Fahrenheit, so it's 30 degrees Celsius.
Nice.
It's going to be a little cooler this week, but then it's going back into the 15-degree range next week, so that's 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're not expecting any snowstorms anytime soon.
Yeah, not anytime soon. In other words, they still got plenty of time to work. So guys, stay on the island and keep going. However,
one thing they are running out of is daylight.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it's not safe to work outside much before 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning now, and 6 o'clock at night it's dark. So they're 12, 14-hour days are over.
Michelle Tomeyer says it was all the way to the edge. All right. Well, we do notice that they are starting to pack up. Money Pit packing up. Yes, I think so. Money Pit is packing up. Everything is coming off the island, from what we can tell. As far as the Money Pit, the equipment in the Money Pit, we've seen this was from yesterday. There's the hammer grab leaving, with most of its teeth still intact. So that's heading out. You've got, as of yesterday, here's some more Caisson. We've seen a lot of chunks of Caisson, pieces of Caisson leaving.
And then the picture from Karen tonight actually had the, I'm going to call it the control booth or operational booth that Rock has down by the oscillator.
Yep.
I was actually on one of the trailers.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, we know that everything's starting to wrap up now. We'll be seeing a picture of the oscillator going across very soon, I'm sure. Dark at 7 now here. Yeah. And you have this piece here. This is one of the drill extension rods for the auger drill that was being operated on that little video that I had there. So yeah, they're packing it up. It's done in the Money Pit. That does not mean that they're done on the island and they're not done with filming, but they're done in the Money Pit. Looks like.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, could they still do some airlifting with that drill?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
We know that if we compare last year's equipment arriving and leaving, everything arrived roughly about the same time. This year, everything's leaving about a week to 2 weeks later than last year.
Yeah, last year they left early, and they left that
they were done and gone. According to my notes, week of September 23rd,
right.
That whole week was nothing but equipment leaving.
Yep. Yeah, it really was.
So they didn't hit as big of a wall this year as they did last year.
Right.
Hopefully. Right.
Yeah.
Because last year I feel like they just, like you said, it was kind of like they got to a point where it was like, all right, well, we can't get into the solution channel this year. So
yeah, they tried to do that airlift a little bit. And they were talking about that TOT-1 was sitting on the ledge of the bedrock with an opening, at least a partial opening down into the solution channel. And I remember questioning, how would you know for sure if you were even in the solution channel? And the answer was given that we know.
Okay.
How do we know? Well, but they know. So they were in the solution channel and they were doing the airlift. They got really they didn't get the one thing, which was the TOT was named after the one thing. They did not get the one thing, but they did not pull that Caisson. It stayed in the ground all winter long. And as Tom and I were talking about, or the three of us were talking about earlier, we don't know if they capped it off and left it there or if they ended up pulling it and backfilling it. but it sure seems as though they are chasing the solution channel towards the garden shaft.
No
And
question.
that's going to be an interesting thing to come up with for this season. Can't wait to see what they've come up with for that. So, all right. So I wanted to talk about a little bit of other information, and I did pull up this real quick too. And that doesn't mean we're done with talking about the money pit and everything. If we have more to say on that, but I wanted to jump over here. This is the website for the legend, Oak Island Legend, where you would book your tours. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Scott Barlow and the team for putting together these tours. I think they've done a bang up job. They had to scramble to try to get all this together and put something together so that they get the public back on the island this season, this past summer. Now, these tours are still going on. You can still book through the end of October. So they're going to run them, all the public tours, all the way through the end of October. And that's rain or shine. So if it's raining, they'll just, you have to deal with that too.
Well, that's the great part about having the trams, right?
Yes.
Put on a little bit of rain gear and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Now, when I was there on the 21st, I think it was the 21st of September, we had Mr. Danny Henniger, Mr. Oak Island himself, was given the tour. He looked a little scared there. If you look at his face, he looked a little worried because he was talking about.
Look who's driving.
Well, yeah, that's why.
I was wondering if that's
The
who
Corvette
I
man.
thought. Wow.
Yeah, Carmen Legg was driving, and I guess Danny was talking about how Carmen had been out on a bender the night before and didn't get much sleep. So we were a little concerned, that we might end up, going into the cave-in pit or something. No,
Actually, it's a good picture of Carmen right in the rear view mirror.
I know, that's
Yeah.
why I grabbed that. I shot that. I was waiting for him to look up into the mirror there and catch that picture. But the two of them together, well, that was a fantastic. I know that Charles Barkhouse also does tours as well, and I would love to be in on one of his someday. But yes, Mr. Oak Island. Yeah, that's the way Carmen introduced me to him as Mr. Oak Island when I first met Carmen and Danny a couple years ago when we went out there. What a man! He has so much knowledge about Oak Island.
When you listen to those guys talk, it's like you're getting the audio book, like bam, it's right there. Like it's from someone who's been there, has lived it, and has seen it.
Yep. He was, and Kat, thank you. Yeah, Kat is booked for the 18th to go on it. Carmen told me he's driving. Good. I hope Danny's guiding. He probably will be. Depends on Saturday, Sunday. He switches off with Charles on Saturdays and Sundays. We went on a Sunday, so I don't know what day is the 18th. Is that a Saturday or Sunday? So I don't know if that still means anything for them guys, but it was great. It was absolutely great to have them give this tour, the two of them together. And of course, I've got just a few shots as we were going along here to show you. Of course, that's that's where basically the office is now, over there. And then of course, this is where everybody eats. I had to get a picture of that. This is
cool.
Mess tent.
the mess tent. Yeah. Oh, it's Saturday. Okay. Yeah. You may get Charles. I'm not sure. But I don't know if Carmen's driving them all or not. He might be. And of course, the War Room and the McGinnis Foundation, the foundation of the McGinnis home right there in front of it. Love that shot there. You do get to take a lot of pictures, or close up of it. You do get to take a lot of pictures while you're there, but unfortunately, you can't get pictures of everything. Did they feed you? Well, no, they did not feed us. We did not get food. You have to make sure you get breakfast before we were on the 9:30, so we were on the early one. But you got to make sure. Now, this was I took this picture because we were coming around. I'll show you where this is on the map here in just a moment. But this particular spot had three different casings put down, well casings put down. They were probing over in this area. Now, this is an area you never hear them talk about on the show. And they were probing over here for something. Now, these caissons, you can see they're pretty, casings are pretty rusted. So they've been in the ground a while, but I'd never heard about them working in this area.
Didn't Dan Blankenship drill different test holes all over the place?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yep. Now, this was right about there, right in that circle area. As the road comes around and makes this turn right here, I can't tell you exactly because we were moving along and I was grabbing the pictures as we were going, but I would say somewhere along the road right here, um, just on the south side of the road. So right over here in this area.
Hmm.
Now, remember a couple years ago when we saw on the show that they had actually found a square. Remember when they did the LiDAR or something of the island? They had like a square, like a building foundation they found
Mm-hmm.
over here in this area too somewhere. So maybe having to do with something in that area. I'm not really sure.
They were actually, you could tell from the shots from the shore too that they were doing a lot of work in that south corner of the swamp this summer.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Excavator was in there a lot this summer.
Yeah, and that was another area we were not allowed to take pictures of. This whole area down here where the number 32 is has been cleared and scraped clean.
Yep.
For quite a ways back up into the north side of the swamp over here. It's all been cleared off. What they have found or whatever, we don't know.
You know who owned those lots, right?
I
Samuel-
do. Anybody
Samuel-
knows?
Oh, sorry, I said it. Samuel Ball.
Samuel Ball. Yeah.
That would have been my guess.
Yep.
He also owned the lots right next to Lot 5.
Where was the clip for the bag found? Was that found more like 27, 28, or was that found over here?
I thought it was over in this area.
Okay, cool.
That would be the lead bag seal.
Yes, thank you.
Anybody
Bag
remember
seal.
exactly where the
Can't remember.
lead bag seal was found? Pop up in the chat if you remember. And let us know. Because I was thinking it was down in this area somewhere, 31, 32, but I could be wrong. I'm not absolutely sure. But yeah, so this whole area, I'm really curious to see what they have, why they were looking over here. I mean, honestly, I would scrape off the entire swamp if I had my the money to pay for it and the time. I would scrape off.
Well, they didn't have a hard job keeping the swamp dry this year
No,
because we've had no rain. Like, today's the first rain we've had here in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia in like weeks.
Yeah.
The drought conditions. So it was easy to keep dry, easy to get to. But yeah, Samuel Ball owned 30, 31, and 32.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually, Sam Ball actually used a government grant that he got for, helping the British, etc.
Mm-hmm.
He used a government grant to buy that corner of the swamp. Like, what a waste of a government grant, unless you knew what you were looking for.
Exactly.
He could have got free land anywheres, but he took that.
Yep. So, right. Why would you want 32? I mean, 32 does have a nice little stretch down here that we've seen on the show. But yeah, most of it is
For a cabbage farmer, though?
Yeah, I know. Why would you want it? Why would you want the swamp if you're a cabbage farmer?
Yeah. He got it in 1809. It was granted by the province for his service to the king. So he could have had 4 acres. He could have had 4 acres of good farmland somewhere, but he chose that.
But he chose the swamp. He knew something was up.
Yep. Well, he had a total of 9 lots, right?
Yep.
He had 6, 7, and 8, 24, 25, 26, 30, 31, and 32.
Yep.
I still haven't given up on that guy yet. I know they haven't talked about him in a long time, but
yeah.
I'm
going to get to
Sam Ball knew something. I don't know what he knew.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he knew something. If I was looking for treasure on an island that had a Freemason history, I'd be like, is there a lot 33? There's not. Give me the ones closest to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was 30. Well, the ship, if you're talking about that piece of ship's railing that they found, Cam, that was that long piece or piece of wood that was yay long and it looked like a piece of railing that was found in the swamp down on the south side. So I would say 32. Yeah, yep. 32, or it might have been 13, 14, but I think it was more here. Let me bring the map back up.
Oh no, it'd be 30, 32.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was right about in here.
Yeah, it was down in that lower corner. Yeah.
Yeah, down in this area here somewhere. Yep. That piece of ship.
14 would be like the stone road.
Mhm.
That's where the line of 14 is where the stone road crosses the swamp.
Yep. And of course, speaking of the stone road, the
There you
stone
go.
road right there. Yep. And got a good look at that. That was really surreal, I think, to stand there and look at that and see that now it's overgrown a little bit. And again, like Tom said, you haven't had much rain up there this year.
Mm.
So they didn't have to work very hard to keep it drained. It was drained all summer long. They do pump it if they needed to, but yeah, without the rain, it was very slow in filling back up. But it was really interesting to stand there and look at that and see that stone road. See if you guys, they're still doing tours through the end of October, so you still have a chance to go and see that. And then there is that stone triangle.
Oh, I see. I see. Lisa said Tony talked a lot about, I'm guessing, Samuel Ball today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these aren't the original rocks, right? Because it was
No.
destroyed. But do we know for sure this is where it was, or is this the best guesstimate? I've always wondered.
Best guesstimate.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some old photos of the stone.
Yes.
Right.
So that's, I'm going to say within 10 feet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've seen those old photos before.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'll have to go look at that. All right. Thank you, Craig. There's Craig, Oklahoma Youper. All right. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that very much.
Hey, Craig.
So yeah, the stone triangle, and there was something that was mentioned down here by Danny Henniger about this. Now we know that the area behind him, where he's standing right there, if you've seen aerial shots of this is the south side of the money pit. There, right to south, they call it South Shore. They right behind him is a spot that even when the tide is out, that there's a circle there, a hole there, a depression in the ground, and it's always got a little bit of water sitting right there. And that is an old shaft that Dan Blankenship and David Tobias had put in back in the day, and it's still on dry land. Yep.
There you go. Thanks,
Yep.
Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
Yep. Thank you for that. And that is something that was mentioned by Danny that I had not known. And that was that David Tobias and Dan Blankenship had dug right about where the tram is sitting, right where the road is. They had dug down there thinking that there were flood tunnels into the South Shore, into the water there. And so they dug down in that road area and actually found some sort of a rock. Like, remember over on the other side where they found in Smith's Cove, they found those rocks that were like a triangle or whatever that were laying like a flood tunnel type of thing. They found one over here. They don't know for sure if it was a flood tunnel, but they did. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? I had not been. I don't remember ever hearing that on the show, but Danny talks about it. And so you pick up some good stuff while you're on that tour.
Oh, yeah.
You really do.
Danny's a wealth of knowledge on what's taken place on that island in the last 50 years.
Yep. And so, yeah, they did find something because we've often speculated about whether or not there were flood tunnels on both sides, Smith's Cove and also South Shore, that would then prevent them. They're always working, trying to block off the ones from Smith's Cove, but it never worked, right? It kept flooding. Maybe that's because there were more. And right behind him in the water, not in that where that depression or that circle is, but just beyond there, are where they saw those those ice. I'm going to say those circles in the ice that
holes,
were not frozen, ice holes that were from what? What would cause that?
That's fresh water coming to the surface.
Has to be.
Yeah, warm water rises
from the ground, and the water from the ground is going to be a steady temperature.
Yeah, there's some sort of freshwater spring or some sort of a spring out there somewhere. The water comes out of the ground into the ocean. It rises because it's warmer, and it basically bubbles at the top and keeps it open.
Yeah.
We have them here as well.
Yep. So, yeah, a lot of interesting things that you find out, but about finding some sort of a possible flood tunnel between where he's standing and the picture, where the picture's taken there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting, I thought, for that. So, we got, I would be amiss if I didn't get a picture of Dan's drill truck. Had to get a picture of that. That's just it's so iconic, and it still sits there right there by 10X. And of course, there is 10X. and some of the folks that were on the tour with us that day. And I spent most of my time. I wish I could have a picture of the money pit, but I spent most of my time looking at the money pit and analyzing what was over there. This here is the cave-in pit, and you see that little shack. See that shack sitting right there? Well, that happens to be, and the cave-in pit. I want to mention too. The cave-in pit is bigger than I thought it was. You know, I thought it was a lot smaller, but it's actually a pretty good sized hole in the ground, depression in the ground. That little shack you see over here behind that gentleman standing there taking a picture is a Restall shack that they are redoing. And here's the monument to the Restalls right here.
Cool.
Yep. And the other two men, Hiltz and Krieger, that died that day, that went in to save the Restalls, and they perished as well in that. So he gave a little information about that as well. There's a shot of that Restall shack. Now, something that was mentioned, that then they put this over here. This is not the actual location of where the Restall shack was in Smith's Cove when the Restalls had it. This is where Bobby and Ricky spent their times. They slept in here. And if you go over and look inside there, there's actually some stuff inside, but they're setting this up so that people can get the idea of what the Restalls went through and how they lived when they were there. It was actually moved around. I guess the actual shack was on skids, and they moved it around to different places. You know, it did spend time in Smith's Cove. It was up a little bit closer over toward 10X, going up the hill towards 10X and stuff. But they wanted to put it back there so that people on the tour could get an idea of, you know, what it was like for the Restalls when they were there. So that's why they've reconditioned it and put it there. So it's really nice. The areas on the road where they found native artifacts. Okay. Where they stopped them from digging. Is there any government digging, or everything stopped there? As far as I know, they're still stopped in those areas. They have to get special permit.
Yeah, they're basically, I mean, they agreed to different zones on the island, right? With the Mi'kmaq people, the indigenous people, the indigenous groups. They agreed to certain places on the island that are basically off limits. We're not going to touch them. You're not going to touch them. We're just going to leave them. And I think there's 3 different areas now. Like there's even sections of the swamp that are
north end of the swamp.
Yeah, it's off limits.
Yeah. Southeast corner, north end of the swamp. Those are definitely 2 areas that are kind of closed off right now. For that, they have to have a special permit to do any kind of work there.
They're not going to go in there with an excavator. I can tell you that.
No.
It'll be layered with a trowel.
Yeah, we layered with a trowel. Absolutely. Yeah. You won't get Billy's trowel in there. That's for sure. One of the things that I did want to mention also from the team, talking about the tours. And again, I really hats off to them for being able to put this together for the Oak Island tours, get the public back out there. Hopefully next year, the Interpretive Center will be open. It was not open for us this year. We were not able to get in there and get a look around, but hopefully they'll have that open for next year for the tours. And they're not sure exactly when the tours are going to start back up next year. Weather, permitting, probably April or May or June, I would say, but we don't know for sure just yet. And they'll announce that. Just if you want, you need to go out to that website that I had out there, oakislandlegend.com, and then you get all your information from there. But they did want to say this, and I did get this from the team. They said, tell them that we really appreciate all their support this year for tourism. We really want to add that experience going forward for everyone. They have a lot of ideas on what they can do for adding to this whole experience for everyone for next year. So it's going to get better. It was just like us doing the convention this year. We kept it very small. We wanted to try to do this and then find out what worked, what didn't work, what can we do better next year. From the evaluations that we gave to everybody, it turned out that they were all very favorable. We did get some suggestions of things that we could do or maybe not do next year, but it was very positive overall. So we were very happy with all of that. But the guys from the island, everyone from the island would like to thank everyone for bearing with them through these growing pains of the tours. And they're going to continue to work on it and make it bigger and better for everyone going forward. So they really wanted to show their appreciation for everybody who did attend the tours this year. And you still have time, like I said, to continue with that. Now, one of the things that I found out, and I did a lot of listening and a lot of watching and trying to study things this year when I was there. And one of the things that we got, and I know Lorraine is in the chat here tonight, and she will attest to this too. They were very excited. Now, I know I've kind of talked about this before, about their excitement level. This one was off the charts, how excited they were. I'm going to read this real quick. I just need to know when, and if the convention will be next year. Some of us have to put in. Yes, we don't have a date yet. Lorraine and I, and Tony, we're kind of working on some of that. We are starting our planning already for next year, but we don't have a date yet. But as soon as we do, and we're going to get that date quickly for everyone of when we're going to do it. But we'll let you all know as soon as we can. I promise. We are working on it. So, and hopefully it'll be a lot bigger. We'll have a lot more presenters and stuff.
Just book the whole summer off. You'll be covered.
Yeah. Just do that. Now, getting back to this excitement level, when we had the first night of the convention, we had Fiona Steele and Laird Niven come up and do their presentation. Fiona stole the show, literally. But she gave us some great information that hopefully we'll have her on the podcast to go through with us. How she linked all the people together that searchers over the years was remarkable. It was so interesting. I don't want to spill the beans because I would rather that anybody that was there heard it, and she went on for a good hour and a half about it. And then Laird got a little bit of time at the end, but she did a great job. But I want to get her on the podcast to cover that again with us all on here. But the excitement level, Laird came on there and he was talking about, he did his presentation. And then he said something that it just shook me. And he said he was so excited about a find this year. And it just had happened while we were just during that week or so that we were there. And they were super, super excited. And I was going to try to get exactly what Laird had said. And I said, Laird, can I quote you on what you had said? And he said, I don't remember my words from this morning, let alone from then. It's a find. Here's what he said. It's a find that could potentially completely change my outlook on the island.
That's huge.
That's huge for Laird to say.
Coming from Laird, that is huge.
He was stoked to no end about this particular find. They are analyzing it. I don't know what it was. They would not tell us, of course. They can't. They could not tell us what it was. But this particular find has blown them away. Not just Laird and his archaeology team, but many of the others. Folks, I'm very, very excited about this. Money Pit, yes, great. Now, the question is, where was this find?
Where was it?
I don't believe it was on lot 5. And again, and nobody said anything. Nobody gave up any information, but I was listening to things going on and looking, and I've noticed activity in a particular area on the island. So I'm absolutely guessing on this because
speculation hat.
Speculation hat on. I'm going to show a picture here real quick of the island. All right, now this is the road that we drove in on right here. You can see the road right here, and again,
Center road.
This is just a artist rendition that Prometheus does. But here's the road coming in. This little road you see going up through the 9 right here. This is Nolan's property, and this right here there is a gate. There's like 2 rock formations with a chain going across. This is you cannot go up this road and go over here. I'm going to step out on a limb and say that lot 8 somewhere around lot 8, lot 7, lot 8 is of particular importance this year.
Hmm.
Ah,
Interesting.
there.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fiona said that they found it in a place one would never expect, nor where they'd looked before.
Hmm.
Robert Young
Um,
never owned Lot 8, did he?
huh?
Robert Young never owned Lot 8, did he?
Not that I know of. No,
'Cause
he
that's,
bought
that's the guy.
his.
That's the guy that manipulated the 13-foot stone circle in Lot 5. But
Yeah, exactly.
okay, so Lot 8 again. Back to my favorite guy, Sam Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the money pit was found 1795. Lot 8. I always keep this little Sam Ball map around here because I'm
Mhm.
still fascinated with the guy. He purchased Lot 8 3 years later
Oh.
Mhm.
for £6 from Robert Melvin. Now here's the crazy part. He bought Lot 6 and 7 like 12 years later
Mm-hmm.
for 10 times as much money.
Yeah.
Talk about your real estate going up.
Yeah. That's a considerable jump in
Now, keep
price
in
in
mind
just a few years.
that Samuel Ball bought 100 acres on the mainland in 1810
Right.
for £12.
For 12 pounds.
For
So
12
why
pounds
did he
on the
spend that much
mainland.
for then?
Right? If you look in the mainland, there it is there. There's his, I don't know if you can see that or not, but
Yep.
that's where his lot was on the mainland. He bought 100 acres there for £12. In 1812, he bought lots 6 and 7 for £30 a piece
Each.
each. So a total of £60. So he got
So it doesn't make
eight
that's
acres for
and he
£60.
never farmed it, right?
I don't know.
That we know
He
of.
got 8
That we
acres
know of.
for £60 when he just 2 years before that bought 100 acres for £12. By the acre, that's pretty pricey stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, why? The
Why?
question is why? He wanted it bad. Sharon Edwards says he wanted it bad.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
hmm
Alita Green says at the Mug and Anchor, it was mentioned by Laird that there are actually 2 new finds
There
that
you
they
go.
were really
Ooh,
excited about.
But
fantastic.
where's the question? I guess we just stay tuned, find out.
Yeah, I'm excited. And these were not, I don't think these were money pit finds. I'm pretty certain these were not money pit finds.
Laird
So
doesn't
getting
have
back to Sam Ball, why did he,
Laird doesn't have anything to do with the money pit.
no,
Right? He never goes up there. He never hangs around there because it's,
Nope.
as he said to me one time, the money pit's been so dug up, so destroyed, so blown up, so turned over that
Yep.
anything that comes out of there really is,
So
suspect.
I'm trying to think what would completely change, his outlook. And for me, I kind of want to go to like maybe something that would really tie in Templars to one of those structures. Because we know for a fact there was the English and the French and,
Yep.
what group,
Portuguese.
what group is, does the,
Yeah. Wait till you hear Jake's theory. I'm not getting into Jake's theory. That's Jake's
ooh,
theory.
okay.
Wait till you hear Jake's theory, and he's, to your point, he's going to tie some stuff together.
Hmm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
or
all I'm gonna
something.
say
It's got to be
about my
some
theory.
really important person or something really old that would tie it to,
Yeah. Yeah. What about the Templar cross they found? Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. That was down in Smith's Cove.
yeah.
But this, yeah. So something that they found, and Laird and the archaeologists are
I imagine
very excited.
the problem with the Templar cross in terms of like saying it's Templars is that it was just found on the coast, right? So like if they had found that cross in the ground in one of these lots dated with other items, it would have more significance, right? Or am I just off?
Well, the fact that they found it, it's lead. It didn't float in. It might have washed off a boat inside of something, but the fact that it's there is the
Oh,
important.
totally huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is this picture here. This one, it shows these in orange here, 9, 10, 11, and 12 are Nolan's properties. They did own Lot 5 as well, and of course, you know that he sold that to Robert Young, and then Robert Young ended up passing away, and then the property was purchased by Circuitrova. So Lagina's had it, and they found lots of very, very interesting things there. Now they have 9 through 12 is what Tom still owns. But again, going back to that little road, that road's well, let's just say that when the tram got over there by that spot, right there, right here between lot 9 and lot 8, we were not allowed to take any pictures.
Yeah, and I've been trying to figure out, looking at different shots from Tony's boat all summer long. There's different places that I'm sure are not Lot 5 that have got these little Gary Drayton flags
All over the place.
all
still.
over the place.
Yep.
So whether it's any of those, I have no idea. But
Yes.
we
There are
speculate.
some in that area. Lot 8, lot 7. There are some flags as well.
Okay.
All right. So one more thing I wanted to show you guys too was this here. While we were out in Tony's boat, this boat here was spotted, and he was going back and forth in a lawnmower pattern in the water, dragging something behind him on a line. It was not fishing. That is not a fishing vessel. He was dragging something.
He's not dragging for scallops with a boat that size, I can tell
No,
you.
he's not dragging for scallops. No. He was pulling one of two things. It wasn't a scallop dragger. No, he was going back and forth in pattern, and he was either pulling side scan sonar or a magnetometer, one of the two. And this was right next to the island. I mean, literally, we were coming around Isaac's Point, and there he was.
So what side of the island are you on? The convention center side of the island there?
That would be right where he was. That would be just off of South Shore.
Okay,
Well,
off the South Shore,
when you come around Isaac's Point and you
Okay.
start making your way around to South Shore, it was right there on the
okay.
triangle
No,
side. Yeah, close to the
Okay, yeah,
triangle.
it's further down than I thought.
Yeah, between the triangle and Isaac's Point.
hmm
He was going back and forth and back.
Because I know Danny Henniger showed us up at the train station at the museum different overhead shots they had of the water, and it looked as though they had been actual sort of, if somebody was running a dredge or dumping stuff, where the lines were out there where they were actually dumping stuff. But it was more down towards the causeway than up past Isaac's Point.
Oh, yeah. This is out on the other end.
Okay.
So, but yeah. So I grabbed that picture because I thought that's really interesting.
Was there any camera crew on the boat? Or did I just see one person?
No, there was several. There was a couple people. You could see them moving around inside the cabin in here, the pilot house. But there was only this one guy standing out on the back, and he spent most of his time watching the water. But he was looking at us as we went by. And there I am taking pictures of him. So I thought that's interesting. I wonder what he's doing. Anyway, does it relate to Oak Island? I don't know. But it was interesting to note that
could just be a guy hired by the province to chart the water too.
Could be. I mean, we saw what was that Ocean X or something was out there a few years ago, floating around doing some stuff, and we don't know exactly what all that was about either.
They do that from time to time. They hire private companies to go around and just basically drag these scanners behind them and make sure that depth charts haven't changed because of ice and winter conditions and storms.
Yep.
Oh,
for
interesting.
boating lanes. Yeah.
Yep. So, so we're really excited about this find that they're coming up with. And I wanted to jump over. I just got a couple of pictures I wanted to share also about the Oak Island Convention that we did this year. We had such a wonderful time. It was great. I really, my biggest concern throughout the entire thing was that the attendees have a good time and they get their money's worth out of this thing, and also the presenters that they are, enjoyed themselves and feel like coming back again next year. Overall, we had a very, very positive review from everyone, and we were very happy about that. Obviously, for obvious reasons. This is where we opened it, and this was me asking the question about raise of hands of people that were there looking just for treasure, or you just want about the treasure or the history or both. And I was asking for a show of hands on that, but as we got started with things, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then we also saw this new face. You see a new face in there.
Mm-hmm.
This was at our meet and greet that we had on Tuesday night. And thank you again to everyone from the island who came out, who could come out. There was still, I mean, this was still, I think we started this at what? Lorraine was at 5 o'clock or something like that, island, local time. And there was people still working. So they, I mean, they couldn't, they were still on the island working. But Scott Barlow and the team came out, Doug and Judy and Michaela. This is Michaela right here. She's a new archaeologist working with the team this year. And of course, Fiona.
Great.
What was that?
Oh, I said great. More archaeologists, the better.
Yes, indeed. And Charles Barkhouse. I got the opportunity to finally meet Charles Barkhouse. So that was really cool. I just been a long time I've been wanting to meet him. So that was really happy about that. And Scott and everybody come out. They all signed this, and then we gave this poster away at the end.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. Laird's shirt. It made me laugh too. The picture of Charles. But funny people. I tell you, it was really a good time. There's another shot of everybody. Yeah.
I see it now.
Yeah.
Wow. The
Charles Barkhouse experience. Yeah, that's what it's all about. But yeah, great guys to come out. And here's some of the folks on the on Tony's tour that we were taking some pictures there. And oh, hey, who's that right there? Hey. But yeah, everybody had a great time. We really enjoyed it, and we're going to do it again next year. Like I said, we'll come up with a time, a date once we get the date established. I always wanted to do it in June on the summer solstice sometime, but we'll see. There was a lot of neat stuff. We do have some tumblers that were made with the Oak Island Con logo on them. I think we got some of those we're going to be giving away this year during the podcast. As we go forward, there were some other ones. We sold some there, we gave some away, and just had a lot of fun. There was a couple more right here that we did, and then of course that one there. But it was really a lot of fun, and I really wanted to thank everybody who came out and did it this year with us. And then all the presenters, Ian Spooner, Matt Lukeman, wonderful. Danny Henniger was there, Ken DeBoer. Yeah, as soon as possible. Yeah. I know a lot of people were, and I thought we put it out as best we could. A lot of people were come back to us going, "You guys had a convention? Why didn't I hear about this?" I don't know. I guess we didn't do a good enough job to get the word out to everybody. But so, Tom, what do you think? Did we cover everything you wanted to cover here?
I think we got it. I'm going down through putting lines through stuff, so I'm pretty much covered. I'm just curious, what do people think? How many episodes are going to get this year?
Yeah. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think about
we have last year? 26, 25, 26,
5, I think 25. I think it was. Yeah, 25. Yeah,
32.
That's
That's my guess. I'm going
as long as they're
optimistic.
as long as they're not filler, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
as long as they're not filler. 50. Maya says 50. Oh my
I don't know.
God.
I mean, even a day when it's a filler episode is still better than a day without Oak Island.
Mm-hmm.
They can give
I have
me
fun
50
giveaways. Yep. And Lori Wickens at Shag Harbor. Yes. Thank you for bringing it up.
Giveaways.
We did. We came around when we came over, Christine and I, when we went to Nova Scotia this year, we came into Bahaba. Sorry. I had to. They even have a t-shirt that says Bahaba.
Bahaba. Okay.
Yeah. So I can
say it.
The phonetic.
Yep. And
Bahaba.
Bahaba. And so we went into Bar Harbor, Maine, and we took the catamaran over to Nova Scotia, came into Yarmouth. Yep. Came into Yarmouth. And oh my gosh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful areas. Oh my goodness. Bar Harbor was wonderful. And we came into Yarmouth. And then we made our way around the bottom there of Nova Scotia, and we came and had to stop and do Shag Harbor and stop and see Laurie
Mm.
Wickens at the UFO Museum. And we are going to be talking about this more on this podcast, not the Oak Island, the treasure hunting side, but over on the more UFO type side.
They do a UFO convention in Shag Harbor, right?
Yes, and it's coming up here. It's like this next week, I think, or something like that. It might be this. Honestly, folks, if you're into UFO, UAP type stuff at all, that is Canada's Roswell.
Yep. That was a big deal.
It was a big deal, and it doesn't get the attention
And
it
it was
deserves.
Too many witnesses for it not to be a big deal.
Yep. You talked to Laurie Wicken, and there was 50 people standing on the shoreline right there looking at this light floating in the water that they thought was a plane crash. And turns out it wasn't. But
I think deep water scares me more than space in terms of like thinking what's
me
in
too.
there.
Quite honestly, I'm the same way. Okay, so one thing I did want to also mention too before we wrap it up here, we do have, and this was kind of cool. Emma did not come out to the meet and greet. She was busy, but she did come over to we were on Thursday night. We went over to the Mug and Anchor, and we spent a little time at the Mug and Anchor, and she was there. And I didn't get a chance to talk to her until the very end. And she came up and we talked for a couple of minutes as she was getting ready to leave. And she actually told me, she said, I would love to come on the podcast do a three of us, her, Jillian, and Laird, maybe Fiona too. But I think Fiona needs her own podcast. And we need to do 2 hours on Fiona alone. But Emma said, yes, her and Jillian and Laird. So I said, let's do it. Let's get this done. So I've been talking to Laird, and we are going to put something together for them to come on. Hopefully it'll be before the show starts. We don't know. We don't actually have a date yet, do we? We have a date yet on the show?
All kinds of speculation out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
The 11th or the 18th of November is what I'm hearing, but
yeah, second or third Tuesday.
Yeah, they haven't. The History Channel has not as yet announced it or confirmed it.
Right. So we are going to have them on. So it'd be Laird and Jillian, and Emma Culligan will be coming on. We also have Fiona is going to come on, and she's going to go through her. Wait till you hear this, folks. If you weren't at the convention, I'm serious. She was so excited, and she was talking a mile a minute and giving us this information, and you had to keep up with her because it was going by fast. But she tied the searchers all together. Everybody that has been searching for the treasure for the last 230 years, except for the Laginas.
Well, I was going to say, including the Laginas.
Not that we know of. How they all tie together. And she put this together through her research. It was awesome. It was really, really good stuff. You're going to be talk about a family tree. So we'll get that, and we'll get her on for that. We also have Scott Clark is going to be coming on talking about some stuff. And supposedly there's a book out or coming out or something from John Edwards and Gretchen and them. And so when that book comes out, it was supposed to be released, but then some things happened over the summer that delayed them. So they got delayed. So we'll have them on at some point. So we got Scott Clark, John Edwards, Gretchen, Fiona,
Jake Roberts, when he gets his book done.
Jake Roberts is going to come on, right, Jake? I hope he's still there. Jake is going to come on with us and share some stuff with us. So, boy, we have the next 8 months are going to be very, very exciting.
He's going to be busy.
And we're going to be talking about it every Wednesday night right here, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, every Wednesday night. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to try to put something together between, have some different stuff going on between now and when the show starts. But again, I'm excited. I can't wait to get going. There he is. Yes.
There he is.
All right. Good.
There we have a confirmation in writing. There you go.
Yes, we have a confirmation. If you all saw it,
binding.
Yeah. So, boy, good stuff, man. I tell you what,
season 13.
Season 13, and a lot of people have said, "Oh, are they the show's over? It's got to be done with." There was a lot of, not from the people from the island, but there was a lot of interesting talk, listening in the restaurants and talking to people about Oak Island. There was a lot of interesting talk about Oak Island from the locals. And that's what I really
Interesting.
wanted to listen to, that kind of stuff, and hear what people
Yeah.
were saying about it. And it's becoming, they're really starting to get things set up to make this a major tourist attraction for people to come and
Oh,
see.
yeah.
And I'm glad they are. I'm really glad they're doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would be season 13 that they find the one thing that ties the Templars in, without question,
Yeah.
Yep.
or they find Templar treasure, or
Mhm. Yeah. Well,
Be
we
too.
we shall see. So I don't know. What do you think, guys? Is that it? You got anything else?
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you folks for joining us here tonight. Yeah, lucky 13 for sure. And if it can't be the last season. We can't, because it can't end on 13. I mean, I've always considered 13 lucky for me, but
Mhm.
I don't look at it as the terrible thing, Friday the 13th or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
13, nah.
Or they could just skip it and be like, no, this is season 14.
Yeah,
like
we're
how
just
some
skipping 13.
buildings do.
Yeah, just like a building. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Skip
no
the
13 button. We have to go to 14.
Right.
Take the
So,
3 key off of the keyboard. Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you folks for joining us here tonight. We appreciate it very much. Look for us for more. If you haven't already, we'd really encourage you to subscribe to the channel. And if you like the content of the show we did here for you tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, give us a like, share it with your friends. And again, Lisa Bates, thank you very much for sharing your pictures with us. Awesome stuff. Kat, you're on the wire for next week.
You're next, Kat.
The 18th. We expect lots of great pictures from you. So get your camera warmed up. All right. That's it for us. We'll catch you next time right here on the J Free 906 podcast. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Eek, she says.